Hey everybody, welcome to another FB Live training for Fire Your Inner Critic, Find Your Inner Badass, and finally build your business. I'm Cassandra Von Worsley with you today. If you're watching on YouTube and you are not a member of our group, please come join our group, facebook.com/groups/Fire Your Inner Critic. Okay, so this is by far one of my favorite topics to talk about, because on the one hand, it's connected to your inner critic, and on the other hand, it is connected to your inner circle, two things that I think are vitally important to you building the business of your dreams. Now, let me just say something that came to mind. Building a successful business, especially based on your terms and what you're looking for, is not something I would ever call easy. There are simple steps to take. There is a commitment and consistency piece, but is it ever going to be easy? No. Just so I think sometimes people feel like if they're called to do something in the world, if they're called to build a business, that the calling alone should bring the inspiration necessary to make the journey of building their successful business easy. And let me just clear up the myth for you. Building the business of your dreams, having the level of impact in the world that you really want to have, is not going to be easy. And it doesn't have to be, because we live for challenge, we live for growth, we live for evolution. All of those things take a metamorphosis. All of those things require our commitment to doing hard things, to showing ourselves that we can take life to the next level. So let's just get rid of this notion that building a business is supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You were built for the challenge of building your business. You were built to build a business and secure your financial freedom. So let's just get all the thoughts out of the way, all the limiting beliefs that are going, but I don't know how, and I don't know if I can. That is the point of this journey, to show yourself that not only can you do it, but you are doing it, you will do it, because you must do it. That's the whole point there. So let's talk about, I went on a tangent. Let's talk about today's FB Live training. How to fire puppet masters from your life. How to fire them. Because in all reality, there are seasons of our lives where we don't pay attention to who's in our inner circle. We don't pay attention to who we allow really close to us or who we allow in. And then before long, years have passed and we turn around and we wonder why, when we go to share our dream with our inner circle, when we go to share our hearts and what we're working on or what we're struggling with our inner circle, we're getting criticism and we're getting skepticism and we're getting unsolicited advice, and our energy tanks when we're around those people. Here's why: because you got puppet masters in your inner circle. Now, puppet masters are people who hold and pull all the strings. They're puppet masters. And in this scenario, when you've got a puppet master in your inner circle, they feel like they're the puppet master over you. And they feel that way because guess what? They know your buttons. They know where your emotional triggers are. They know how to press them. They know when to press them. And they know the negative result that's going to happen in you because they press those buttons. So your puppet masters are people who really know you so well that they both know your emotional triggers and they can pull them with ease. Puppet masters in your inner circle are also those people who literally suck the energy right out of you. They are those people who, when you go into a conversation with them, when you enter a room with them, your energy could be high as all get out. You could be excited about life and in love with life. And within 5 minutes of talking to them, your energy goes in the tanker. So anyone who is in your inner circle that you notice that your energy is higher before you interact with them than after you've interacted with them, that is a puppet master. Good to know, right? Good to know who your puppet masters are. Now, the puppet masters that pull or suck your energy dry, the way that they do that is they do that with a number of things. They do that with what they demand of you. They do that with their requests. They do that with their cross-examinations, whether they're cross-examining you of why you do what you do, or how you do what you do, or why you want to build a business. They are cross-examiners in your life. They do that with criticism. And of course, they do that with unsolicited commentary and advice about your life. You ever have that family member that loves to tell you when you should lose weight or when you should gain weight or what you should do next in your career or what you shouldn't do next, and you never actually ask them, what do you think about this? Well, puppet masters, just saying. So here's the next question. How do you fire puppet masters from your inner circle? How do you fire them? Because they are not effective in your inner circle. You may have to keep them in your life because they're family. You may have to keep them in your life because you've known them since you were 2. But just because you keep a puppet master in your life doesn't mean you keep them in your inner circle. So how do you fire puppet masters from your inner circle? 3 things. Number 1, and I encourage this on a weekly basis, perform an inner circle audit on a weekly basis. In other words, I want you to, every Friday or every Sunday or every Monday, you pick the day, once a week, I want you to say, inner circle audit time. Who's in my inner circle? And I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Okay, number 1, who's in my inner circle? Who do I confide in? Who do I trust? Who do I share my dreams and my vision with? Who do I share my weakness with? My Achilles heels with? Who do I share? Who am I vulnerable with? That's the first question when you perform the audit. Second question is, what value does this puppet master or each of the individuals in my inner circle, what value do they bring to the table? Do they bring value or do they steal value? Do they bring energy or do they steal energy? Do they bring positivity or do they snatch positivity? You've got to really look at, is this person who I think is a puppet master in my inner circle, what do they bring to the table? What do they offer? Do they help me grow and expand, or do I contract every time I'm in their presence or hear their voice? Second question. Third question, how does this person that I might be thinking is a puppet master, how do they uplift and inspire me? Or do they bring me down? Do they make me feel like an idiot? Do they make me feel like I can't achieve my dream? How does that puppet master or that person, how does that person make me feel when I'm in their presence? Do they uplift and inspire me, or do they just bring me down? Those 3 questions, when you do your weekly inner circle audit, will tell you whether that person should be in your inner circle or they should not be. And you'll know the answer. Second thing you can do to fire a puppet master from your inner circle. Once you've identified the puppet master in your inner circle, now you've got to do the work of distancing that person, that puppet master, from your dream. And you've got to distance your dream from their attention and input. So I would love to be able to tell you, just drop them like it's hot. I'd love to be able to tell you, just send them a text and say, we are no longer friends. You're no longer my inner circle. But that usually causes more drama than it helps. So you don't take that kind of abrupt ending to them being in your inner circle. The second step, once you've identified the puppet master in your inner circle, you distance your dream from their attention and input. In other words, you get very clear on the fact that you should never share your vision with people who can't see. And a puppet master cannot clearly see your vision. They don't have a vision of their own because they're spending all their time puppet mastering you. So you want to distance your dream from their attention and input by understanding that you don't share what is sacred to you, what is a vision of yours, this business that you're building. You don't share it with people who can't see it. And puppet masters can't see it. And you remind yourself on a constant basis when you're distancing your dream from their attention and input that you never have to explain and they don't get a vote. You never have to explain and they don't get a vote. Period. Like, there is no conversation to that. You never, if they ask you questions about your dream, your business, you change the subject. If they ask you persistent questions, you go, you know what, that's not really something I want to talk about right now. How are you doing? you don't have to explain and they don't get a vote. So second step to firing the puppet master from your inner circle is you distance your dream from their attention and input. Third and final step, which is my favorite step, to firing your puppet master from your inner circle, and it's a Snoop Dogg song, drop them like it's hot. Drop them like it's hot. What do they call it in the dating world? Ghosting. Ghost them. Like, do not respond to text messages. Do not respond to voicemail. Do not respond to email. Whatever you got to do to just drop them out of your inner circle. I'll put it to you this way. When you drop them like it's hot, in 3 months' time, they should have no idea of what you're doing in your business, on your business, they literally can ask you, and they couldn't even predict it if they tried and if they got a psychic on the line. So drop them like it's hot. And that is the way that you fire your puppet master. Now, here's the thing. You cannot have a puppet master in your inner circle and expect to fire your inner critic, find your inner badass, and finally build your business. It's not going to happen because the puppet masters feed your inner critic. The puppet masters make your inner critic stronger because they're pulling the strings in your life. You cannot keep a puppet master in your inner circle. So number 1, weekly inner circle audit. Number 2, distance your dream from their attention and input. Remember, you don't have to explain and they don't get a vote. And then number 3, what do you do when you find you have a puppet master in your inner circle? Drop them like it's hot. Drop them like it's hot. And you don't have to explain, and they don't get a vote. That is today's FB Live training. I will see you next week for a new training. I will post in the private community what the training is going to be on next week, but I've loved talking about the deep work of getting to know yourself, your dream, and getting beyond whatever is keeping you from starting and building your successful business. I will talk to you guys. Oh, and if you're watching on YouTube, just join the group. Facebook.com/groups/fire your inner critic. I will see you guys next week.